Well, hello folks, it's the 31st of October, it's Halloween. We're right now cruising through the Fort Custer Industrial Park. Gonna take a little turn up here past Denso and see a little bit of military storage back here. It is Camp Custer, an active military camp since before World War I. Had a VA appointment this morning and that's all over with, and took a little cruise past the airport. Now we're going to go over through Camp Custer and over to the National Cemetery. Back in the 70s, this road I'm on right here was a service road. There was nothing but woods all around. Now you can see it's definitely grown up. Brand new interchange, brand new roundabout right here. We are going to take this way. We're not going to go into the Air National Guard base. Not today. Everything off to the right has developed, including this new road that we're on, in the last 3 or 4 years. There's Stanley. Quite a place, part of Denso, over here on the right, but used to be Nippon Denso. Japanese company. They changed the name just to Denso, dropping the name Nippon. I don't know if they sold, or Nippon Steel sold, or how that worked out, but they dropped the name. The streets that you see going to the left and right bring you back to other manufacturing companies. It's amazing. Wetlands all off here, bike trails here, walking trails. And it didn't look like this just a few years ago. Nope. I'll be right back. Man, all I see along here is for sale signs off here to the left or the east. Over here to the right, the security fence with the federal no trespassing little signs on it is all Fort Custer, all part of the fort. But I noticed something up here in this straightaway. I guess by owning a Challenger back in 2014, I'd noticed things like this. I'm going to take another look at this. Be right back. Here, folks, is where high-performance cars have been racing, street racing. You can see right here is where they've been patching out. This right here must be where they start. Oh, yeah. Yep, here's where they've been starting, racing down this way. Yeah, we'll take another look. Okay, you can kind of see why these street racers are using this patch. It's secluded way out here, for one thing. And it has, here's the Christmas tree right here. Look at those, man, that's some patches. They're probably racing, since there's a stoplight down here, they might be racing just like here to where this entrance to these really nice companies back here are, all new. Maybe to the end of those pylons, who knows. They're going to take the corner up here and look at Denso and then through the military complex here off to the left. It'll be to our south as we take this corner. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, everything over here is donezo. Got pickleball, basketball. This building here is a daycare. At least it was. It's the main manufacturing facility. Goes down here quite a ways. So on this side is all military. That's Navy or Marine Corps right there with a big anchor out in front. On this side is still all donezo. And it will be for a little while yet. Now we will take a look as we pass by the main entrance here to the Battle Creek Training Center. You see some of the buildings over here are back from World War II. These used to house tanks and cannons, all kinds of heavy military vehicles. This is a newer part back here, and behind it where they actually bring the vehicles in and work on them. Maintenance facility there. They got a big cat generator in case the power goes out. Some of the vehicles they work on. I've seen howitzers in there, self-propelled howitzers. Haven't seen tanks. I've seen a couple Bradleys parked there. Now we're going to come around the corner here on the old parade grounds. This area here was the old part of the old parade grounds from back in World War I. Okay. Other companies are here. High-tech companies. Rosla. Again, jawohl. Deutschland. The picture that I posted and did a video of the human shield with the 30,000 officers and men were riding right over the top of where that took place right now. Well, this part of the parade field. Off here to the west now, you'll start seeing some of the old World War II barracks. These are the type of barracks that I was stationed in when I was in the military. Of course, they have a brand new barracks just a little bit to the west of here. We'll see in just a moment. Straight ahead is the VA hospital, about a quarter of a mile. All right, a little bit more of the training center here. I'll guarantee you that right there's a chow hall. They picked those right out. Got an old 75 back there. Here's one of the old gates. Okay, here's their parade field. They have a couple of cannons there. 105 down there. They got a newer 155 right there. Then right up here, see a multi-story brown brick building. These are the new barracks. Right back here. Here's one of the old World War I sheds. That's left over from the First World War. They still use that through World War II and so forth. And here's the new facility, the Michigan National Guard Armory. Yes, sir. This is all Fort Custer National Cemetery on your right, and on the left is the training area. And we're about to pull into the National Cemetery. I seen they had all of their American flags up this morning, blowing in the breeze. It was beautiful. You should be able to see that as we make this turn right now onto this hallowed ground. Off here to the right is a little area that, if you're coming here for a funeral, is the assembly area. Sometimes they have a caisson here with horses. Sometimes Harley Davidsons pulling a little trailer with the casket. The interments here are mostly all ground level. You can see back in those dark figures in the back here, those are turkeys, wild turkeys back here. You can see them right between the trees there. Between those wild turkeys and where I'm sitting here are hundreds of graves. I'm going to give you just a little bit of an example here, very respectfully, of how the cemetery is laid out. This is area 15 Bravo, and you can see nice areas here for water. You can only use for watering the plants, also for disposal and so forth. Very, very nice. We come out here and you can see it's right here where we're at. There are hundreds of burials right here, and they remain active. And over here you can see new pathways going back into newer areas, and they have paved a road over here as well. We'll look at that as a way on the way out. But this is the way that these are. For instance, this is James A. Fish Sr., Sergeant, U.S. Army, born February 21st, 1927, and he died August 25th, 2016. And his wife, Alice B. Fish, they're both here. Okay? And you go on and you'll see World War II next to Vietnam. Vietnam. Now these are the wars they served in, but you notice their deaths are in November here of 2020. So that's how they are lined up, and if you look at them from the sides, they are perfectly lined up, rank and file, just like that you'll see with the white headstones in many national cemeteries. And we'll be looking at some of those here today. Just a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. Again, you can see how the layout is here at 14 Alpha. What a peaceful, peaceful place. Okay, there's little benches for commemorative benches actually all through this area. There's a committal shelter here in the back where they have the service with a pastor and or your minister, whatever, and they'll do the 21 gun salute there, and then the remains are brought out here and interred. All right, I had to take a little closer look at this. I do believe that this is a little bit older than or newer than what it may look. Not quite certain if this is ancient or not, but it serves to keep these grounds well watered. Okay, we'll take a little ride through the woods here at the National Cemetery. These old woods really have taken it over the years. See a lot of deadfall back there. The wind and everything. Can't go in the woods. They won't let you in there. Nope. It's habitat. This side too. But we can go up here. And we'll take a little look right down where the German memorial is at. I'll be right back. At most national cemeteries, one is used to seeing this style of headstone. And you will find these here too. World War II. Beyond it are hundreds of graves as well that are laid flush with the ground. Just across the little street here from it are also hundreds of graves. As you get over to the columbarium. These cemetery workers have come and did some nice cutting around these stones right here. They were pretty well grown over a bit last time I was here. They've done a good job on these. I'm gonna go back and look at these here a second too. Couldn't help but notice we have Vietnam veterans laid to rest right here next to Persian Gulf War veterans. Young fella right there. They all are. Again, Vietnam and Vietnam. Again, these are in line with the World War II graves. Have a Chief Warrant Officer 3, Lloyd F. Maxwell, U.S. Army, retired, World War II, Korea. He was born in June 1921, died in May of 72. Beverly Lowell, September 1st, 1946, and it's again listed September 1st, 1946. Daughter of Major R.L. Steele, United States Marine Corps. A baby daughter. Yep, right there. Major Steele's daughter is buried right there. Oh, next is another infant. This is very, very touching. I didn't know that these were here. Daughter of Captain D.F. Alexander, U.S. Army. Little girl passed away, baby girl, January 20th, 1948. Tanya A., daughter of Captain B.W. Dano, U.S. Army, January 24th of 48. And it goes on and on. These are the infants, little daughters and sons, infants. Deborah May. Douglas Keith. He was born on my birthday. I had no idea that this was here. I'll be right back. You have a Senior Master Sergeant, Korea, Vietnam, Herbert Paul LeBeau, Leona M. LeBeau, beloved wife of Senior Master Sergeant Herbert P. LeBeau, husband and wife. Master Sergeant, U.S. Army. William Klein, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army. World War II in Korea. Rita McClelland, wife of Lieutenant Colonel Donald J. McClelland, Sr., U.S. Army. And there is her husband, the Colonel. Beatrice, next to her husband. These are husbands and wives, and then the little babies in the back row. Not related to these here in the front row. Iva B., wife of Senior Sergeant Martin Reba, U.S. Army. There's Martin. Staff Sergeant, Senior Sergeant. Come on, it's a Staff Sergeant. World War I. Frederick Brooks. World War II in Korea. Of course, we've seen Lloyd Maxwell. I'm going to take a little look at this a second. Wait till you see this story, folks. It proves that not all people that are your so-called sworn enemies are hateful and really actually your enemy. Many of them are, but some of them aren't. We'll prove that. Okay, folks, I'm going to read this for you. And then we're going to go on about a little photo here. There are 26 German World War II POWs buried here in Section B. Those interred here were held at Fort Custer in the area's central camp at its satellite camps throughout Michigan. Now, my uncle, he was the main cook over here at Custer and the tent city and so forth back during World War I, and he also fed. Part of his duties was to make sure that the prisoners of war were fed, the World War I guys. Many of them stayed behind, did not go back to Germany, and settled here in the area, especially around Augusta, Galesburg, and Springfield. To this day, their families and their last names are still present here in the area. There were more than 5,000 prisoners in the Fort Custer system, as elsewhere in the country, they were used as a labor source. They used them to build roads and ditch diggers and so forth. On Halloween, now today is the 31st of October. It's Halloween today. On Halloween evening, 1945, an open truck carrying 24 German POWs returning from work at a beet farm in Blissfield, Michigan. They were hit broadside by a New York Central passenger train at a railroad crossing. 16 prisoners and their American guard were killed. A mass funeral with Catholic and Protestant rites, along with German imperial religious services, were held. This was the single largest loss of life among all World War II POWs interned in the United States. In 1953, the American Legion and the German consulate began memorializing these men during annual services. The services are now held in November on Germany's People's Day of Mourning, a moment to all German POWs buried here. A monument was placed in 1991, and that monument is right here. And of course, all of these headstones that you see are the German POWs, many killed in that terrible crash. And here are part of the wreck. The funeral, POW Johann Schleck. Johann Scheck at Fort Custer. We're going to go take a look at Johann's grave right now and pay homage to it. Be right back. Walk along here and remember to pay a little homage to all of these fellows that were interred here, working, and then killed in the train wreck. Along with their American Guard. Here's Herr Johann Scheck. Please notice the dates. About 3 years ago, this area right here was woods, just like you see behind us, in the National Battlefield, the National Cemetery has installed a beautiful columbarium. A lot of 2024s along here. Oh boy, yes, these are all newer. And some are tagged right here. Yep. Jeffrey Hall. Stanley Myers. Floyd Sharps. Howard Perry and Teresa Perry, his wife. On the wall behind us, a lot of 2021s. Many people are being cremated. I was set up to be buried here. But I changed those plans, and I'm going to be cremated. My remains given to my daughter. It's all pre-planned about 4 years ago. The funeral home. Well, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but they were running a special, I guess you could call it. And so I took them up on it, and I says, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And so I prepaid, and it's all set. Now I don't have to think about that. Neither does my family, my son or my daughter, anybody else. Oh, very nice here. This person right here, I believe, was Christian Reform. The cross with the triangle and the ichthus, the fish, that cross with the triangle, that's the symbol of the Christian Reformed Church. Well, now it doesn't mean that person is Christian Reformed. They may have liked that. There's a lot of Dutch in the Christian Reformed Church. It's pretty much founded by the Dutch, and we have another one right up here. Donald de Groot, Corporal, U.S. Army, Korea. Passed away last year. Yep. If you see a symbol of Moroni blowing his trumpet, then that veteran would be LDS, aka a Mormon. I haven't seen one of those on here yet. All right, beautiful location. Looking back here, and a little bit of color left into the woods. And there are other ground committal areas as we drive through here for full burials. All right, we'll be back in a minute. You can see back here in H section, there are workers opening a grave. There's going to be a funeral. I think there's another one up here. Nope, they're just maintenance workers. Just a few years ago, these sections didn't even exist. You drive by here and this was just fields, forest, and so forth. And now they are section L, and over here section K. Really something working on a wall here. You put a chain around it. Guess they don't want anybody getting up on that. Okay, I asked about these faucets, and no, they are newer. They're not ancient. They look it though pretty cool. We're going to end our tour here today at Committal Shelter Alpha. It's where the processions would come. Beautiful bronze of the flag, folded, and they do that right up here. This is where the procession will park, all up and down, and then the casket or the remains would be borne by the pallbearers into this beautiful committal shelter. Right here in the front is where a stand would be placed, the casket draped with the American flag. They're on top, the flowers around, and of course the next of kin and others all around. The Department of the Army, United States of America, United States Marine Corps, Department of the Navy, United States of America, the Department of the Air Force, United States of America, the United States Coast Guard. We also have a Space Force. On either side, we have rocks in these circular depressions. Now, I have been told that these were for Native American ceremonies. Here, there's another one over here on the other side. Others have told me that some of these rocks have been recovered from different areas of the world and whatnot, but I don't know. They look like they've been recovered from the same beach. If anybody knows any more about that, don't be afraid to leave a message down below. Because there are some things in this world, like all of us, we're not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree at times in certain genre. But it would be cool to find out about that, if that's a fact about that. Anyways, the committal hut here, the National Cemetery in Battle Creek, Fort Custer. Thank you for being with me. I hope you appreciate these videos as much as I appreciate bringing them to you. I love doing these videos. Many times I find things new for the first time. You please subscribe. I appreciate that too, the thumbs up. Yes, sir. There's my old insignia right there. There's the cannon with the cannonballs by it. I can tell you about that. I can tell you why there's 3 cannonballs there too. The whole deal. This will defend. Rest in peace, all our veterans that are laid to rest out here. Fort Custer. God bless America. Please keep us safe. Have a great rest of your day and a safe evening out there.